Hola clase, hoy vamos a hacer lección 5, ser versus a star. So we've used both of these verbs, but now we're going to we're going to talk about the difference between them. Why do I say the difference? Because both ser and a star mean to be. So we're going to break that down today, and don't forget that you can use that cheat sheet that I put under learning modules right above the lesson. Remember, using the cheat sheet can be really helpful when you go to do your quiz on Connect. So you have ser and a star, which both mean to be, and in the yo form, they're both irregular, meaning they don't follow the normal pattern of a verb. So it's soy and estoy. The to form is eres and estás. The el, ella, usted form is es and está. Nosotros somos, estamos. Vosotros sois, vosotros estáis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes son, and ellos, ellas, ustedes están. And so hopefully you know the conjugation of both of these verbs. If you don't, this is a crucial verb to be able to communicate in Spanish, so knowing this one is really important. But also take in mind as we start to go through when you use ser and when you use a star, that even if you make mistakes, there's a good chance the person that you're speaking to is going to understand you, and most likely they'll correct you. And so it's just a learning process. You have to take that risk to be wrong and just learn from your mistakes. That's the best way to learn Spanish. So we'll break down ser first, and then we'll get into a star. So ser is used to give the time of day or year, the month, the date, and the day. Son las 8:30. Número dos, ser with adjectives describes the inherent physical or character qualities of a person or thing. Los estudiantes son listos y simpáticos. The students are clever and nice. Número tres, ser is used to tell the location of events, such as concerts, meetings, and classes. El concierto es a las 8. The concert is at 8. And so this one also is talking about time. So it's not only as an event, you have time in the equation as well. Ser with de indicates possession or material something is made of. Es el cuaderno de James. It's James' cuaderno. Número 5, ser indicates origin or nationality. Yo soy peruano, yo soy cubano. I'm sure you've heard the question, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? Soy de Buffalo, soy de Nueva York. Número 6, ser gives definition, or it identifies someone or something, occupation, religious, political affiliation, relationship. Ella es profesora. Mario es policía. So remember, when they're talking about profession, they don't insert that indefinite article of a. You wouldn't say ella es una profesora. You just say ella es profesora, and that means she is a professor or a teacher. So here we have a star. Try to get out of the way a little bit. A star is used to form the present progressive tense, which is used to state that an action is in progress at this moment. You're going to see this one a lot. And so if you can identify this word after the blank, you always know that you're going to use a star. So estudiando, escribiendo, leyendo, corriendo, what you're doing in the current moment. A star with adjectives is used to describe the physical, emotional, or mental condition of a person or thing. Mis estudiantes están cansados. My students are tired. A star is used to tell physical or geographical location of a person, place, or thing. La profesora está en la clase. So the teacher is in class. So I always try to remember this rhyme. How you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. So your feelings and your location are always changing, thank goodness. You're not always angry. You're not always tired. You're not always sick. Your feelings change, and you're not always in Spanish class. You're not always at school. You're not always at work. And so your location's always changing. So if you can remember those two, remember that you use the verb estar, because that is something with transition. Ser oftentimes is with more permanent characteristics. So I like to use this acronym. It makes it helpful when trying to remember when you use ser or a star. So I have doctor for ser, which is date, occupation, characteristic, time, origin, and relation. A star is position, location, action, condition, and emotion. So the acronym for that is place. So this can just help. And the more you do something, the easier it's going to get. It just becomes habit, just like anything else. But you also have to be willing to take that risk to be wrong. And it's going to happen when you speak Spanish. And that's okay. That's how you learn. So what's really interesting about ser or star is that depending on the adjective you uses, it can change the meaning or the definition of it. So for example, Veronica es aburrida. When you use the verb ser, it means Veronica is boring. If I said Veronica está aburrida, it means Veronica is bored in this moment. So she's in a certain class and she's feeling bored, right? So there's a difference between being a boring person and bored. Rodrigo es listo. Rodrigo is clever. When I use listo with a star, Rodrigo está listo, it changes to ready. Rodrigo is ready. So you'll hear this a lot with Spanish speakers when they're ready to go. They'll say listo. Vámonos, listo? Are you ready? Let's go. Marco es rico. So when you use it with the verb ser, it means rich. La comida está rica. When you use it with the verb estar, it means the food is delicious. La manzana es verde. The apple is green. And when you use the word verde with a star, it means not ripe. And so it's really important to know, because that's really a big deal that these words change so much. So that's what can make Spanish so complicated, just like any languages, that there's a lot of different ways that things can be said. So I just broke it down for you a little bit more, but aburrido equals boring with ser. Aburrido equals bored with a star. So you can see it a little bit better without in sentences. Just trying to move this. Okay. So I'm just going to do 4 questions with you, and then we're going to get to the ones that are on the cheat sheet that I gave you, that you'll actually see some of those on the Connect for quiz. So I'm asking you for 2 different things here. El tango, you're going to choose between ser or a star. And then you're actually going to give me, so the question says el tango, or the statement says el tango blank un baile tradicional de. So where does the tango come from? So if you know that, if you only want to stick with the ser and a star, that's fine. El tango es un baile tradicional de Argentina. So the tango is an Argentinian tradition. And if you picked a ser, it's because un baile tradicional, we're talking about a traditional dance, so it is what it is, and you're talking about its origins. La fiesta, so again, you guys, I'm going to have you pick between ser and a star. And then you're going to conjugate it as well. So, la fiesta es a las 2 de la mañana hasta las 7. So this is an event. We're also using time. So the party is at 2 in the morning until 7. And in this photo was taken in Ibiza, which is an island off the coast of Spain, which is a Spanish island, and it's also known for its wild parties. La tomatina blank celebrado en cuál ciudad? La tomatina está celebrado en cuál ciudad? So what city is the tomatina celebrated in? So you're talking about location. If you're unsure what La Tomatina is, it happens every year in Valencia at the end of August. About 100 years ago, 2 men got in a fight at the food market, and they started throwing tomatoes at each other, and then the whole town joined in, and it turned into this huge tomato fight, and they had such a great time that they've been celebrating this annually for plenty of decades. So there's usually about 2 feet of tomatoes, so if you do not like tomatoes, you're allergic, it's definitely not the place for you. So we're just doing some geografía en los Estados Unidos. Boulder, blank, and Colorado. So this one's a little bit tricky because a lot of times with ser, you use things that are permanent, and a star is with things that are always changing. Boulder está en Colorado. no matter what, whether you're talking about a city or anything else, if you're talking about location, you're going to use the verb estar. So this might not make sense to you at all, but that's something that happens when you learn a foreign language. You just have to accept it is what it is, and you do your best to try to conform to it. Things are not always going to make sense to you, and you just have to make the best of it. So what we're going to do now, if you guys have your list or your cheat sheet, there's 20 questions there. If you want to take a second, if you want to pause and go through those and see whether you're going to put ser or estar, you're also going to conjugate it, and then we're going to go over it. So mi hija es baja, my daughter is short. That's a description, so that's why you would use ser. Mi familia está a la playa. My family is at the beach. This is location, so that's why you would use the verb estar. Paula, soy yo. Elena, Paula, it's me, Elena. So you're talking about yourself. Soy yo, it's me. If you want to hear a great Spanish song, put in soy yo, and you'll see a great video and a great song. This is one of the best ways to learn Spanish, is to expose your ear to it. So the more you listen to it, you'll be able to recognize the syllables easier. Numero cuatro, que hora es? Again, if you want to see a great video, put que hora es in, and there's an awesome video that comes up. So this is time, so you use ser. En este momento, yo estoy leyendo el periódico en línea. So at this moment, I'm reading a paper in line. So if you can see leyendo, that's the present progressive. So you automatically know that you're going to use the verb estar. Hoy es el 14 de septiembre. Anytime you're talking about the date, you're going to use the verb ser. La ciudad de Cusco está en Peru. So again, if you were paying attention a couple minutes ago when I talked about what makes sense and what doesn't, Cusco should always be in Peru, so it should be ser, but we didn't make the rules, we just have to follow them. De donde eres tú? You're asking somebody where they are from, so that's their origin, so you would use ser. La capital de Nicaragua es Managua. The capital of Nicaragua is Managua. This is a fact, and so you would use ser. Los niños están muy cansados hoy. The children are very tired today, so you're talking about an emotion, a physical state. El concierto está en Madrid. So the concert is in Madrid, so you're talking about location, so that's why you use the star. Mis amigos y yo estamos corriendo en el parque. My friends and I are running in the park. So again, you have the present progressive, which is the ing. In Spanish, corriendo, we are running. Maria y tú son inteligentes. Es una descripción. It's a description. La computadora es de Miguel. It's Michael's computer. You're talking about possession, so you use the verb ser. Mis padres están enojados conmigo ahora. My parents are angry with me right now. It's a feeling, a state, an emotion, so you're going to use the verb estar. La casa está cerca de un lago. The house is close to a lake. You're talking about location, so you're using estar. Hablas bien el francés porque eres de Quebec. You speak French well because you're from Quebec. So you're talking about somebody's origin, so you would use ser. Papa y yo no sabemos dónde estamos ahora porque no tenemos el mapa. We don't know where we are right now because we don't have a map. So you're talking about location. Los días de entre semana que me gustan menos son el lunes y el martes. The days of the week that I like least are Monday and Tuesdays. And so days of the week are days of the week, so that's why you use son. No veo la televisión cuando estoy estudiando porque es una distracción para mí. I don't watch television when I am studying because it's a distraction for me. So if you guys notice the estudiando part, that's the present progressive. Número 21. Aquellas estudiantes están muy ocupadas con la Tarea de Ciencias Naturales. So some students are very busy with the natural science homework. So you're talking about a condition, a state, right? They're very busy, so you're going to use the verb estar. Número 22, 22. Ay, mira, Nicola, está muy elegante hoy. ¿Va a un evento especial? Look at Nicholas. He's very elegant today. Are you going to a special event? So this is where the meaning of the word can change. So apparently Nicholas doesn't look elegant every day, just today. So está muy elegante hoy, right? So just today. So that's why you'd use a star. Número 23. Esos dos libros no tienen nada de interesante. Los dos son igualmente aburridos. So these two books have nothing of interest. They're both equally boring. You're using a description, so you use the verb ser. Tú no estudias mucho, pero frecuentemente sacas A en las clases porque eres muy lista. So you don't study a lot, but you frequently get A's in the class because you're very clever. So again, you are talking about a description, so you're using the verb ser. And finally, our last one, por fin, número 25, los estudiantes que saben bien la diferencia entre ser o estar están preparados para el examen. So the students that know well the difference between ser and estar are well prepared for the exam. Es el fin de la lección of ser and estar. It's the end of our lesson today. So just to keep in mind a couple different things. For the next 3 lessons, we're going to be doing comparisons, things that are really similar to what we did today, where they both have the same meaning, but you use them at different times. But the most important thing to remember is that it just takes patience and persistence and repetition, and also just taking that risk to be incorrect every once in a while. You have more than enough opportunities to get things right in my class, and that's why I let you take the quizzes numerous times, is because I want you the opportunity to learn. And the more you practice something, the better it gets. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in the next lesson. Y que tenga buen día. Have a great day. Ciao.